Okay, here we are, and got my electrical system straightened out. I didn't have to go for a new parking light assembly or anything. I had this thing hooked up with a positive ground, and being all rusty and cruddy under here, it wouldn't short out until you bumped it or something, and then it would catch a ground and pop your fuse. But every single thing is working now. I mean, with the exception of the dome light coming on with the door, but you can still at least turn it on. So, maybe sometime I'll get something to do with them switches, but that's not a big deal for now. One thing I'd like to show is when you're screwing around with your electrical and you're probably going to pop a fuse, you know, especially with these old type of fuses. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you know, you take an old fuse that's been popped and you keep the ends for it, and you, dang, this just will not focus on there. I need a better up close camera. Anyhow, dang, man. What I got is just a couple of strands of thin wire kind of bridging the gap here, and that's going to burn up if you got a short a lot quicker than you're going to do any damage to the electrical system, to any wiring or anything like that. So, I mean, I heard about guys having little tiny circuit breakers you can plug in for doing this type of stuff, but I don't have one of them, and I don't have 100 million fuses laying around. So this is what I do when I'm working on electrical stuff, and I know I'm going to be popping fuses. I just have some old wire and some old fuses, and I keep reusing the old fuses. Now this will get replaced with a proper fuse once I'm done here, which I pretty well am, but I'm just going to leave it in here for the time being, just so I can have the lights, dang it, just so I can have the lights while I'm working on it here. And sometimes getting them in there can be a bit of a job, but there she is. All right, and that works pretty good. So what I got left, front tires, tie rod ends, bumper, and the seat belts. I'm gonna eventually get the back seat in there too, and the seat belts back there are ready to go. I'm just talking just to get it so I can get a sticker on this thing and run it, you know, because right now the jet is laid up. That won't be long, but this thing, you know, winter's coming, and these damn things are great in the snow. Just want to try to keep it out of the road salt. But for right now, I want to get on this bumper. Not exactly crazy about packing up these fenders, but these are just sort of good enough for now. I'm gonna save up my pennies and get some nice fenders from a pre-67, because these, in the back here, the headlight buckets or whatever the hell, they got holes through them, and I had to patch the hell out of them. Unless there's a way I can just change that part, you know, that might be a lot cheaper. But yeah, I'm gonna have to cut some slots down here, because the car that this came off of, the bumper sort of came down around and up, and on the later models, which this car is, the bumper just goes right through the fender. So I gotta just sort of just a little bit of a cut. I brought a marker out just for this purpose. Oh crap, if I can get it open. There we go. Now it looks, yeah, we just sort of Got to come kind of down like that on both sides, and I'll be able to get that bumper in and bolt it up. So not a big deal. It's not terribly detracting from the car. So that'll be my project for today. Also, another little lesson I learned yesterday, I'm getting every little thing that I possibly can working. I even got the license plate light working, which I'm going to need that. But one thing I learned, and it's really obvious now that it happened to me. I was looking for a place to get a ground for that license plate light. Right now the ground to it doesn't even have a ground running to it, and you'll see once it closes it picks up a ground, which that's fine, but I'm not going to rely on that. But yeah, right here, this is the guy that wants to be a ground for the license plate light, and I'm looking for the stock wire because that's just easier instead of running a new ground wire or something like that. And I couldn't find it, so I thought, hell with it. Well, here's a nice little terminal I can pick up right off of the coil. Well, no, you don't do that. That's now, after I was done, I thought, oh shit, I fried the points, because I had the key on for a while, and I pulled the wire off the coil so it isn't getting any power, but I thought, oh well, I must have fried it somehow. And screwing around and posted online at Shop Talk forums. There's some really good guys there. They're all about Beetles and air-cooled Volkswagens. Anyhow, he said, yep, sounds like you fried the condenser. So I pulled the cap, pulled the wire from going to the points to the condenser, and then the penny dropped. I thought, oh man, this is how I kill the engine on the tractor. You just run the points right to the ground. I thought, holy crap. I stuck the cap right back, well, I stuck the wire right back on, put the cap on, and I pulled this wire. I turned the key on, and the damn thing fired right up. And just to confirm it, I touched those two wires together, and it just kills the engine, just like shutting off the key. So, you learn something new every day, I guess. Even if it should have been staring you right in the face. But, alright, let's get on this bumper. Okay, here's the bumper I got. You can look at it and you can see right here, this thing rear-ended somebody. One of the bumperettes is missing, and I'm leaving it just like that. It's, yeah, it tells part of the story. I don't know. I'm kind of sentimental on stuff like that. It's there and it's perfectly serviceable. Just looks like hell, and I'm even leaving that plate on there, battered as it is. I'm going to leave that right there. All right, here we go. Center punch. All right, out in the center of the radius of this thing. Left us a good dent there. Drill. I'm just drilling a half-inch hole at the bottom of that slot that I got marked out, and then I'll just go right up with my cutoff wheel, which that's looking a little tired, ain't it? I gotta pick up some more of those. just like the dentist. I don't know, I wonder if I should go across like that. I'm not sure. I think for now I'll just get it in there. Let's see. This side will line up at all. And that's looking all right. Just on the one side. So now I'll measure. No, I don't know. I'll measure something out, and so I can duplicate this over here, and we'll fit the bumper up. Okay, here we are, pretty well finished. Had to do a little more carving with the cutoff wheel and this old tired thing. Actually, an old Chicago pneumatic. Actually, it might not even be so tired. You can see that dimple down in there, and that rides right on the valve here. So if you hold it just anyway, kind of like that, you hold it just right, so it might not be in that bad a shape at all after all. But yeah, just a rotary burr, only one I got, but it worked. Kind of keep the rough edges off of there, because the guy inspecting it goes up in there with his fingers and slices one, he's probably not as likely to put a sticker on this thing for me. But, no interference issues, no covering light issues, no nothing. It should be good to go with the bumper there, and next is the seat belts. But that's just putting bolts in. That's nothing, no big deal. So take it easy. Thanks for watching.